So what is your interest in communities?
Communities is really the expression and exchange of incredible experiences and worldviews and ideas of the world, and the stories and laws and habits, and it really is the heritage of the Jewish communities of the world, the diasporas, that it brings together an incredible rallying point, not only of a nation dispersed, but also of its synthesis of language and of culture and of law, its own tradition. So during the great tragedies of expulsion, such as that of Spain, a splinter part of the Spanish community came to the land of Israel and started a nationalistic movement which resembled the Portuguese monarch and the Spanish monarch, and they wanted to recreate the Sanhedrin. They were not just run of the mill. A lot of these Spanish expulsees were great visionaries and explorers and forward thinkers and pioneers. They were ranked in their file was Christopher Columbus, and who travelled the blue seas and discovered the New World. And there were many navigators and people who wanted to escape the Spanish oppression, and also to find new frontiers. So amongst them were also political visionaries, and they came to the land of Israel, and one of them included Jacob Beirav, and he ended up in Sfat. He arrived in the 1530s, and by 1538 he had come up with a vision to re-establish the Sanhedrin, and to do so by re-establishing the smicha, the ordination. And so he he brought together a lot of the exiles from Spain. They heard about that he was gathering sages together, and around him a group of people gathered, and he ordained them, and those group of ordainees came to develop a whole vision for which would the writer, the Joseph Cairo, the author of the Shulchan Aruch, and Moshe Cordovero, an author of several major Kabbalistic works, and later on his came after him was the Ari, the founder of Lurianic Kabbalistic system, which basically is the underpinnings of the last 4 centuries of Hebrew thinking, of Hebrew mysticism, which was also at the core of Zionists thinking in many ways. So that in the wake of Jacob Beirav's initiative to create a sense of authority and an authoritative structure which could create leaders, which could legislate Jewish and religious law and create the foundations for a state, that his attempt finally failed. He was chased out of town eventually by detractors of his idea that thought that maybe he was going to create a too centralized system for Judaism. and it ended up after 100 years in failure with splinter groups coming off. As it happened, some of the splinter groups in themselves developed great ideologies for of personal redemption and a spiritual redemption and wonderful spiritual ideas for a future. Today, in the 21st century, when the most magnificent possibilities are about us, there may be a need to revisit some of the older political ideas that didn't make their way into expression, but in their thinking they may show or they may merge for great horizons.